not our usual meeting date. We've called a special meeting today. This is the City of Virginia Beach Development Authority special meeting. Looks like I have to read the special meeting.
You want to read that, Alex?
The letter, please.
Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry, I apologize, guys. I do not have a letter. We called a special meeting for today because, as some of you may have seen in the news, the governor made a special announcement yesterday about an existing business in Virginia Beach that is going to nearly double in size, actually more than double in size, and that's because of the timing of that meeting. We've had to move our meeting. And here is the letter that I sent out earlier. Honorable Commissioners of the City of Virginia Beach Development Authority, Virginia Beach, Virginia, special meeting November 17th, 2023. Dear Commissioners, pursuant to the bylaws of the City of Virginia Beach Development Authority, dated December 18th, 2018, I hereby call a special meeting of the authority for Friday, November 17, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. This special meeting will be held in the authority's boardroom located at 4525 Main Street, Suite 700, Virginia Beach, Virginia. The attached agenda sets forth the business of the authority to be discussed at the special meeting. This special meeting will take the place of the authority's regular meeting scheduled for November 21, 2023. The November 21st meeting is hereby canceled. This special meeting will be broadcast on cable TV and at www.vbgov.com. Citizens are encouraged to submit their comments to the authority prior to the special meeting via email. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Do we have anyone signed up to speak in the public comment period? All right, no comments. Next item on the agenda then is a review and approval of the meeting minutes for the meeting of October 17th. Does anybody have any comments on those minutes?
Move to approve.
All right, we've got a motion for Mr. Brunke and a second. Second. Linda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and that motion carries. Next presentation will be our annual financial report from Terry Becker.
Well, good morning, Chair and members of the board. Thank you for having us here this morning to present the results of the June 30, 2023 audit of the Virginia Beach Development Authority. My name is Laura Harden. I am the engagement director who oversaw the audit of the VBDA, and I have with me today Logan Booth, who is the senior manager on the engagement. In addition to our team, we also do have a second partner independent reviewer. His name is Rob Churchman, who gives us that independent review at the end of our audit procedures. So firstly, the results of the audit. So we do perform both a financial statement audit as well as a compliance audit over the authority. And we did audit the statements of the City of Virginia Beach Development Authority as of and for the year ended June 30, 2023. And we did issue our report on November 16, 2023. We issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. That is the best opinion that you can receive as a result of your audit. Our compliance audit covers both government auditing standards and the Commonwealth of Virginia's specifications for audits of authorities, boards, and commissions. I am pleased to tell you that we did not identify any instances of non-compliance as a result of our procedures that are required to be reported to you today. So as a part of our audit procedures, we also do gain an understanding of the authority's internal controls, not to provide an opinion, but to help us design our audit procedures. We are required to report any control deficiencies to you. We did identify one matter that we identified as a significant deficiency, but not a material weakness in the financial statements. So material weakness is a deficiency or a combination of deficiencies in internal control that there is a reasonable possibility that there could be a material misstatement to the authority's financial statements. A significant deficiency is less than that. So this matter relates to during fiscal year 2023, the City of Virginia Beach and the authority identified an overstatement of construction and progress assets of over $703,000 related to the Atlantic Park project that were appropriately capitalized by the city, but were also sitting on the authority's books and should have been transferred to the City of Virginia Beach during the year ended June 30, 22. So there was no misappropriation of assets. It's just a matter where there should have been a reduction in the construction and progress assets and a corresponding expense. So what caused this? During the early stages of the Atlantic Park project, there was unclear understanding over the nature of the ownership of certain assets related to that project. So during fiscal year 22, the authority did not reconcile that capital project activity related to the project, which resulted in that error in the financial statements. So the effect of that is that the authority's capital assets and net position were overstated by that $703,000 during the year ended June 30, 22, and during the current year, the authority made adjustments to correct that amount. So to determine that error, both the authority and the city did perform a very thorough analysis of the project, and they have established an annual reconciliation procedure related to transactions that occur between the authority and the city to ensure that they have complete and accurate reporting. We reviewed that work as a part of our audit procedures and feel very comfortable that they've identified the nature of who owns what assets related to those projects. I'll stop there and just ask if there are any questions that you have before we move on.
I just want to be clear, so it wasn't that there was a misappropriation of funds, it was just both the city and the development authority were counting the same capital
Yes.
asset. So it was
Correct.
a mischaracterization between the two.
Yes, it was a double counting of the assets, no misappropriation of any funds.
And to be clear, these are assets under construction
Correct,
at the beginning of the project.
yes, yeah. So along with that, we do have a current year uncorrected misstatement because it was not a material misstatement, meaning that it caused the financial statements to be materially misstated. The authority elected to run that correction through the current year financial statements versus restating the prior year balances. And I will turn it over to Logan.
Alrighty, so next, there are a few communications that we're required to provide to the board today under the auditing standards. The first being significant accounting policies of the authority. There were no changes to those accounting policies in fiscal year 23, and no new accounting policies were adopted. As part of our audit, we are required to review the related party transactions of the authority. That would be Atlantic Park Community Development Authority that was created in fiscal year 23, as well as the city. In our review of those transactions with the related parties, noted that all transactions were of standard business practices and there was no significant or unusual or improper related party transactions noted. Additionally, there were no significant or unusual transactions that our audit procedures discovered or that we were not made aware of by management. The financial statements include certain significant estimates that are subject to management's estimate of values, and most notably that is the land held for resale, which management estimates at the cost of those assets plus any subsequent improvement related to those assets. Our audit obviously includes a review of the financial statements, and we can confirm that the financial statements are complete and include all required disclosures. We are, under the auditing standards, we are required to be independent of the authority, and we can affirm our independence to the board today. And then lastly, there are some final other required communications. If we encountered any difficulties or any disagreements with management, we would be required to communicate those to you all. Unfortunately, we have a great relationship with Katrina and the accounting department here locally, as well as the finance department with the city. So no disagreements or difficulties in conducting the audit. We are not aware of any consultations with any other any other CPA firms as it relates to the authority's financial statements. And we did receive a management representation letter prior to issuing our report dated yesterday, November 16th. We're not aware of any other management consultations that would not occur in the normal course of business of the authority, and we did not have any other findings or uncover any fraud or illegal acts of the authority, and we don't have any going concern matters relating to the authority's financial position. And lastly, just some notable items in the financial statements. The financial statements include required supplementary information, which we do review as part of the audit, but we do not opine on the information included in required supplementary information. And then there are supplementary information schedules in the back of the financial statements, which we again review as part of our audit, and our opinion relating to those schedules are in relation to the basic financial statements of the authority. And with that, we'll open it up to any questions, comments.
Any questions for Laura or Logan this morning? That is a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I look to Bill because Bill's our resident CPA and Bill doesn't have any questions.
Ordinary course.
Thank you very much. Bill's the expert. Thank you so much for working with us on that. We are going to go ahead and shuffle the agenda a little bit. The next item we're going to take on is a request for approval of a resolution authorizing an EDIP Part A award in the amount of $167,000 to a recipient, which was announced yesterday by Governor Youngkin at an event that happened, and that is, we can say who it is today because the governor announced it, and that is Doma Technologies. Patricia, are you going to give us an overview?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Madam Chair, Mayor Dyer, Vice Mayor Wilson, and Councilmember Lucci and Gass. First, I would like to acknowledge Mayor Dyer. He has a presentation, I guess, before we begin this morning. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Patricia, we also have Councilman Worth Remick with us this morning.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you. And I'd like to invite the city council members to come up with me. And I would like to invite the distinguished guests from Doma Technologies to come up, please. You know, yesterday was a great day for the city of Virginia Beach. You know, we had two significant events that kind of dovetailed with each other. Governor came down and we did the opening of Doma Technologies on London Bridge Road. A significant piece of a puzzle that we're putting together as the city of Virginia Beach is on the threshold of the greatest and positive prosperity that we're going. You know, we always said over the years, we want our kids to find jobs right here in Virginia Beach. We are taking those bold steps now. When you think about the transmission cables coming in, the broadband, thanks to Rosemary, coming in, is going to create a plethora of opportunity to go forward in the data industries right here. And as we confront the challenges that we have as a city with stormwater costs in the billions of dollars, school modernization, replacement, infrastructure repair, and relieving the burden of residential property taxes, we have to create those new revenue streams. And for that, I thank you members of the Development Authority that strive to do this every time you get together. But there was another event last night too, the opening of ODU's campus right here for data, the Data Institute. So not only are we going to have the companies here, we're going to create the workforce here. Yesterday was a big day. And I just want to, on behalf, please come up, gentlemen, present you with this flag of the city to fly proudly as a symbol of where Virginia Beach is going. And so I say thank you, God bless you, and welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now, Come and say a few words. Nothing like putting somebody on the spot like it's never happened to me, right?
Wow, gosh, thank you, Mary. Thank you for those kind words. Yeah, this is exciting for us. You know, we've been a company here in Virginia Beach for 23 years, and really proud of being in Virginia Beach. And, you know, we've had the opportunity to, as I said yesterday, change people's lives. It's a big thing for our company. It's really our core focus. And, you know, through some of the work of our team and the work that we're doing, not only at a federal standpoint, but a state and local standpoint, you know, we've been able to now grow, really more than double the growth of our company. And it's through partnerships like this that allow us to do that. And so we're super excited about the data science. That's one thing that we're building a technology hub ourselves. But just the fact that we can keep, you know, our graduates from their universities here, we think that we can entice them, provoke them to stay here as compared to leaving the state and working for other companies. And we're just thankful for what, you know, the partnership that we created with you guys on this grant, and look forward to just great things. But thank you, Mary, for that, the kind words.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was really excited about yesterday's announcement. Two things that really I thought were impressive. One, that you hire our military veterans, which is huge. They're a resource we want to keep in Virginia Beach. And two, tell us a little bit about the work that you do for veterans through your work with the VA.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. Yeah, so we're the national provider for what they call the Private Medical Record Outreach Program for the VA. And so we go out and, on behalf of our veterans, go out into the private sector, the private provider community, and go grab their medical records. We extract the data of those medical records. We prepare and adjudicate those records so that we can expedite the disability claims process. And so, yeah, we're super proud being a Virginia Beach company that, one, you know, this is one of the largest veteran military communities in the country, in the world, right? And so we're part of the process that expedites that. We know that it's not a perfect process, but our little slice of that, we were able to shorten the time from 40 days to 12 days and what we've done so that we can really get that claim to be adjudicated and approved for our veterans. So we're really proud of that. We have a lot of veterans that work for us, and so they're seeing it live of the impact that we've had on our veterans. But yeah, that's one of a few large programs that we have, and we've been doing that for over 12 years now. And we've processed over 1 million, well, we actually helped over 1 million veterans over the last 12 years in that process.
Impressive.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And if I could just say in closing, you know, the governor thought enough about this project to come yesterday and get things going. And the one thing Governor Youngkin is telling people, that people now want to come to work in Virginia, and they especially want to come to work in Virginia Beach. When you think about the Amazons coming, when you think about this coming, when you think about the success of Grown Up. But I just want to thank each and every one of you individually, because you are the bridge between the vision and the reality of taking our city to the next level. Thank you all, and God bless you for everything that you do. I appreciate it.
Amen. Thank you.
Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're a little bit ahead of the horse on this one. Letitia is going to give us a presentation, and we are going to vote on it. That'd be a little awkward, wouldn't it?
Conversation then.
So I am going to go through the presentation, hopefully.
No pressure,
quickly,
no pressure at all on you.
Think a lot about the results you didn't say it though, but I'll go through it. So these are the disclosures here. I'll give you a minute to take a look at the disclosures. You met Pat Feliciano, who's the president, and Chris Hutchison, the COO. The company was established here in Virginia Beach in 2000. They are a cloud-based document management software company. Pat explained to you what their process is in talking about the veterans, of what they do, pretty much of managing the life cycle of documents. They have a pretty extensive portfolio of clients, ranging from federal government, public sector, healthcare, and commercial. So they are moving from Seahawk Circle to London Bridge Road, and they are doubling their footprint from 30,000 to 69,000. Lease term is for 5 years. This is storage, warehouse, distribution, processing, and office. They are an APC zone. Approval was not required by OLUC nor JRP. So this is to give you a visual of where they're moving from and to. And they're going to be in the old London Bridge Trading Company building. So this is a phased project. Phase 1 is complete renovation or redesign of various facility sections. Phase 2, production floor segregation. Phase 3 is north production floor redesign and renovation. They anticipate to complete this project June of next year. And summary of the project, so for FF&E, $175,000, machinery and tools, $1.5, that comprise of $1.67 million. Currently, they have 222 employees, looking to acquire anywhere from 275 to 300, giving a grand total of approximately 500 new employees with an average salary of $60,000. We have awarded them in the past in 2014. They did satisfy that grant. And they were also awarded in November of 2019. Unfortunately, they were impacted by COVID. The recommendation to the board is for a grant in the amount of $167,000 pursuant to Part 8 of the policy, $100,000 for jobs, and $67,000 for capital investment. This does hit the target industry sector for business retention expansion, information technology, and SWAM certified. Any questions?
Any questions for Letitia? Sort of anticlimactic at this point.
Yeah. So our chair mentioned the announcement yesterday by Governor Youngkin. They were awarded a grant also through the EDP for $245,600. Any other questions?
That's great. So that this is I think you touched on it. It's 300 additional jobs in Virginia Beach, which is
Yes,
very
which is
impressive.
awesome. We had the opportunity to tour the facility yesterday. And it's very different, very unique. Their employees is created where they really interact. It's like a fun environment. And I think Pat alluded to yesterday, he wanted an environment where people wanted to come to, that it was a fun place to come to. But they got the work done, so it was really nice.
Picture the opposite of a law firm.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it was really nice.
or an accounting firm.
Thank you to everyone who did come out, so.
Madam Chair, as a point of privilege, I just wanted to also note that Pat is a proud monarch in Oakland University. So Charlie and I also.
Very good. Thank you so much for explaining.
Yes, thank you. Wow. Thank you, guys.
All
We need to
right.
vote, Madam Chair.
With that, yes, you're making Alex nervous. All right. With that, the chair would entertain a motion on the request to approve a resolution authorizing an EIP Part A award in the amount of $167,000 to Doma Technologies.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr. Franklin?
Second.
And a second from Dr. Brown. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out this morning. All right. Next item, we are going to go back to a review of our financial statements for September 2023. Rena.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Vice Mayor Wilson, and also Councilman Bellucci, as well as Councilman Wernick. and the board members and guests, the visitors. Thank you. I will be presenting the October 31st, 2023's financials. The operating account summary for October 2023, we had a beginning cash of $4,542,153. We had significant cash receipts, $6,561,624. And I have itemized those out to details. Continuation. Our significant cash disbursements, the grant total of significant cash disbursements was $6,699,730. This too has also been itemized. The ending cash for our operating account as of October 31st, 2023 is $4,369,263. Moving forward, we have incentive and initiative account summary for October 2023. The beginning, our balance was $2,946,572. Significant cash receipts, $455. Significant cash disbursements, $56,492. Giving us an ending cash as of October 31st, 2023, $2,890,003. The EDIP grant summary report for October. The beginning of the BBDA EDIP grant balance was $3,315,714. Earned interest and activity analysis fees, $100. EDIP grants expired and closed, $35,000. And then we had new grants approved by the BDA, which was $130,000. Leaving us a EDIP grant funds available as of October 2023 was $3,220,814. I have provided a detailed report that details everything comprised of those figures. Madam Chair and Board and visitors, this concludes October 31st, 2023's financials.
Thank you, Katrina. Any questions for Katrina? Hearing none. That's just a review, so that's nothing we have to vote on. The next item is the
Thank you.
asset review. Thank you very much. Mark is going to give us a review of our assets.
Well, good morning, everybody, and I'm pleased to be here this morning, in particular after such a great day for us yesterday. One of the things that we had discovered is that we needed to really kind of get after the assets that are under the VBDA control, and so in a very proactive fashion by the board and by the department, we were able to attract a new employee with us, Pam Whittam. Pam, would you stand up for a second, please? So Pam has joined us and is going to be doing asset management for us, and I think that was something that was really kind of missing over the last couple of years. So with the departure of Mark Warner, I think this will really give us an opportunity to get after controls and better management of our VBDA assets. Pam's got a great background, both in the public and private sector. I think the City of Chesapeake's Economic Development Department, Breeden Companies, and you want to maybe tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Pam?
Thank you all for having me, Madam Chair, members of the board. I am a Virginia Beach native, so I am very happy to be here with the Economic Development team. Got my undergraduate at Virginia Wesleyan College at the time in international relations, and then worked in the hospitality industry and property management with Braden Company. Then I transitioned over with the City of Chesapeake and property maintenance and zoning. And then just recently, before I came here, I was over in the planning department. I was the planner in charge of the short-term rentals. So a few of you have already dealt with me over there. So I'm very grateful to be here with you all, and I'm excited to help you guys with this project.
You're welcome. Thank you. And one of the things, in getting straight after it, we provided you all a listing of all the VBDA assets, and Pam's been hard at work in putting this all together for us. And this morning, just as a suggestion, you could have an opportunity to review this. And then we thought maybe in subsequent meetings, we could break down each one of the assets and get a little bit more deeper dive on them, if that's something you all would like to do. As you know, we're hard and heavy after issues associated with the golf course. But this is a complete listing of all our VBDA assets, and we thought that in subsequent meetings, we could kind of get into a little bit more of a presentation on each of those so that we can get all familiar with each one of these assets in a much better way.
I think that would be very helpful. Do you think at the next meeting, Chuck, that we would be in a position to, would we have a report from our engineers such that we would have a better idea of the expenses that are involved in updating the golf course and dealing with the stormwater management?
I see Emily shaking her head over there, so I'm gonna...
So we've requested 2 scopes of work from an architect to do a facility condition assessment of all the VB national buildings, and VHB, your engineers, are doing the pond thorough analysis. So we're still getting underway with that work, but definitely in probably the end of Q1 in 2024, we'll be ready for that report.
Okay. All right, so we'll get a sort of a general update on some of the properties next month, and then the more detailed, I guess, request for a budget for.
It's underway. We just need probably a few months.
Thank you. All right.
Very extensive, by the way, so thank you, Emily, for getting after that as well.
Thank you. Any questions for Chuck on the on our assets? And as you all may recall, this was the result of the audit that Lyndon did, the city auditor of our VB National Golf Course, and so we're really trying to get a handle on all of our assets and make sure they're maintained and that we're keeping track of everything that's going on at those.
Okay,
All right. Thank you, Chuck.
be back shortly.
All right, and welcome Pam to the team, and I'm sorry if we stole you from Kathy. That stuff happens. All right, next we are going to go to Corporate Landing Business Park request for approval of improvements at TS Properties LLC. Emily.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Mayor, council members, Madam Chair, and board members. This is an existing property within Corporate Landing Business Park. They already own the property, but per the Corporate Landing design criteria, any type of modification is proposed, the BBDA requires approval. Disclosures. This is the magenta number 17 parcel here. It's one of the former Liberty Tax buildings. So the company moving in is Tidewater Development Services Corporation and affiliated TST Roofing and Glazing Tidewater. They are based here in Virginia Beach, and with 120 employees, they're growing and moving into this building with about 40 office employees here at 1732 Corporate Landing Parkway. This business supports construction projects in the area for the federal government, public school system, universities throughout Virginia and the Mid-Atlantic region. They are proposing a warehouse in the back of their property here to help expand fabrication and manufacturing capabilities for roofing and glazing in Virginia Beach. It's a 7,620 square foot warehouse, and outlined in yellow at the top of the map. In the back of the parking lot, again to house their fabrication equipment. Without this warehouse, they would need to find additional locations and would limit their growth potentially locally. Parking has been shown to not be an issue even with the displacement of the parking in the back. a little bit engineering drawing of the proposed building. As you can see, they're avoiding utility easements and required setbacks with the warehouse. And it's really only replacing kind of paved asphalt surface. So here's some existing photos of the building. They've just put their name on there and they're currently moving in. It's not super visible, so the only real visibility to this warehouse in the back is along Corporate Landing Parkway, just at the entrance here on the left. So you can kind of see the white dumpster enclosure, but it would be kind of visible just right there in the back, down the view from the driveway entrance. Kind of ghosted in yellow where it would sit within that back parking lot. The maximum building height's about 24 feet. Per the corporate landing design criteria, it needs to kind of match the surrounding architecture, and they've made an effort to do so with a brick veneer on the first floor and two-toned IBIS panels on the top, the second floor. Where that corner is visible on the western and northern elevations, they've added some architectural articulation and to resemble windows in the upper floors here. So these will be glazed to mimic windows, even if they can't actually be windows for the warehouse inside of it. So they'll match, again, the surrounding buildings. And again, that on the northern elevation in that corner, they'll be visible, but again, there's more for windows proposed. So with that, we recommend approval for the modification, and they anticipate beginning construction in January 2024.
We need this, Emily, to get their site plan approved.
Correct, yes.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
David had a comment.
I've abstained from this. I have a letter on file from Mr. Stiles. I'm with the contractor.
Okay, David will be abstaining from this one, yeah. And the only part, I mean, we've asked them to add some articulation in the faux windows, just because we didn't want to set a bad precedent, but by and large, nobody's really gonna see this,
No,
except for
yeah,
a
just that
small
one
piece
corner.
of it, yeah. Okay. We've got a motion from Mr. Franklin and a second from Mr. Standing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Emily. Are you up for the second?
I am. I'm here to hopefully only talk to you once about dirt.
Or sand, right?
So, the construction of Corporate Landing Business Park for the new Pond D, they scooped about 40,000 cubic yards of dirt to create the new BMP and create stockpiles here within Corporate Landing. There's about 3 stockpiles. There's a topsoil one you can't see in the back, a clay pile, which is the darker color in the back, and a sand pile, which is the good stuff we're about to talk about here in the front. So you can kind of see the new pond here, and the stockpile areas 1, 2, 3 over there, and then under construction are still the sanitary line and a water line under the future roadway there. They should be wrapped up probably by the end of this year. So there have been requests to use some of the sand already by existing developments within Corporate Landing. Forbes, we've agreed to provide 4,500 cubic yards of sand for their development site. Again, they should be underway in early 2024. The Miller Group on the northern side of Corporate Landing, about 3,250 cubic yards of sand, and then the actual completion of the roadway will require about 2,500 cubic yards of sand for a total of 10,250. There's about 20,000 cubic yards of sand in that pile, so with the existing agreements, there's just under 10,000 sand remaining for there, and it would be expensive to move in the future. So we would, staff is requesting for VBDA to approve it a policy for staff to know how to deal with this when we receive requests to utilize the sand. So for instance, a contractor from a construction site outside of Corporate Landing has contacted us requesting 5,000 cubic yards of that sand at market rate. So the market rate is currently about $9.50 per cubic yard just for the material, all pickup and delivery is all on them. Should we agree to sell that to the contractor, this would leave again about just under 5,000 cubic yards of sand for anybody else that would like to use it within Corporate Landing or otherwise. But based on the precedent, this is the contractor that's purchased. It's for a Sky Zone underway on General Booth Boulevard nearby. The contractor's Rudolph Construction Partners, and the broker that contacted us is Colliers. But with the precedent of already having existing agreements at reduced price with other developments, we recommend a kind of a policy that if you're a development within corporate landing, it's offered to you at half market rate, which is about $4.75 a cubic yard. But for all other requests outside the business park, it has to be a market rate value. And then for all requests, they pick up and drop off is all on them. At their sole cost and expense. They pay the VBDA via check in advance of any pickup and require staff to be present and provide us with truck tickets to satisfy the transaction. So this would apply kind of as a policy moving forward for the DIRT.
Also Innovation Park.
Innovation Park as well. We're about to start construction there. We hope to not have a stockpile there, but should we have it, this policy would apply for Innovation Park as well.
Thank you, Emily, and just to refresh everybody's recollection, it is incredibly expensive to remove this. So we get the benefit of being paid for this and somebody else is taking it off of our off-site. So that's a huge, but really a double benefit. And I think it makes sense to provide a discounted rate to folks in corporate landing or Innovation Park and then market rate for everybody else, which I assume that this company has no problem paying market rate.
They've agreed to pay that.
Any questions for Emily?
So do we want to change the recommendation to within
Corporate landing or Innovation?
Or wherever it comes from?
And then the policy itself has both of them in there.
Okay, so just to make it clear.
There, yes. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Emily, for thinking this through. I think it's a great policy. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve this recommended policy for how to deal with our sand and dirt. Got a motion for Mr. Parker?
Second.
Second from Mr. Keplinger. All in favor say aye. Aye. With the abstention from Mr. Weiner. All opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Thank you, Emily. You're up again, number 8.
I don't get the glamorous ones, I'm sorry.
Dirt.
Vacant buildings.
Yeah, approval for a demolition. You really didn't get any of the sexy assignments, did you?
This is for the former Circuit City building at 110 South Independence Boulevard. I think we're all familiar with it. It was built in 1982 and acquired by VBDA in 2009. It's about 3.6 acres, but the building itself that we're requesting, the request is about today is about 37,000 square feet. Seems to always be negotiations about the future of this parcel, and we believe this request will only make it more attractive. Again, warehouse space, including garage area within the building itself, but it's really not being used. We had some other departments that were using it for storage of PPE during the pandemic. That's all been moved out. Now it's really only the fire department that uses it intermittently for trainings. So there's ongoing maintenance and utility bills for the building. So water and electric, we recently received a water bill for $500 and had to go investigate that. And with that, not just the utilities, but there's ongoing staff time to deal with graffiti removal, debris removal, landscape maintenance, security, trespassing, securing the building. And then we get requests all the time to purchase it for undesirable uses that we don't even bother to remediate. So we really are requesting the ability to demolish the building to save on these ongoing staff time and expenses. Awaiting its redevelopment, it's not in good condition. We estimate the cost of demolition to be $300,000 to $400,000, and we really request your approval to release a solicitation for the demolition.
All right, any questions for Emily?
I'm just curious, is this site, the value of this site, it's listed here with an assessment of 6.8. I really don't know what that means in the real world. Is this site more valuable without that building on it?
In my opinion, yes.
Any user would
Would have to have
to tear it down, so.
And I would note, we are gonna leave the slab just because the expense of that would be much greater, and we didn't have to get into stormwater because the redevelopment would have to deal with that anyway.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and at this point, you're just asking for us to let you go ahead and put out a bid for this?
Correct, so when we receive the bids that come in, we will bring that final decision back to you for approval.
Okay, so we'll get approval over that final number. All right, any other questions for Emily? I'm looking for a motion. Got a motion from Mr. Standing and a second. Multiple seconds. Penny and Linda. All in favor of this request, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Well, good morning again, Madam Chair and guests. It's really been a great month for us this past month, and I just wanted to kind of highlight three of the things that of particular note. Obviously, the DOMA Technologies deal, I can't underestimate how important that one is to the city and what it means that we're making progress in these strategic sectors that we all are really wanting to grow here in Virginia Beach. So really great. Same day, the Data Science Institute from Old Dominion University opened right across the street from us here. If you, I would like maybe to suggest that we all take tours of that facility. It's beautiful. Armada Hoffler did a wonderful build out there, and they are just thrilled. And the work that they're going to be doing in there is just some of the most advanced AI work and cybersecurity. In particular, I watched a presentation on cybersecurity related to our wind platforms. And when you think about the need to protect those assets and the information coming out of those wind turbines, it was very important as well. So that was another great day. And then a couple weeks ago, we did Chorus Intelligence, which moved out of the incubator. British company, also in cybersecurity, and they were our first tenants in the office incubator here that we have, the International Office Incubator. So they have now moved into offices also here in Town Center. So another great day for Virginia Beach, and proof that our incubator program is a successful one. To that end, we are also moving some of our staff over to the vacant offices on this side of the building, and we're going to be expanding our international incubator. I think that work is going to begin in January and probably be completed in just a couple of weeks after that, because it's a very minimal amount of work, just putting up another wall and taking one down. So we're going to be able to offer additional square footage for our international incubator right at the beginning of the year. So those three announcements were really, really great. One of the other things, and I would like to also thank Letitia for handling the EDIP on that one and also coordinating the event yesterday. It was really well done and great job. I also received a letter from Congresswoman Kiggins thanking us and congratulating us on our recent work with the Hive and the awards that the International Economic Development Council had given to us. So I had an opportunity yesterday to see her at the DOMA Technologies grand opening and thank her for that, but that was very generous of her time and noting the work that we're doing over there at the Hive. Maybe as a point there related to the Hive, Isan Moak, who you know is our director over there, lost her mother last weekend, and so she's over in Morocco right now, but we've got our staff pinch hitting there until she gets back. So that was a really nice letter from Congresswoman Kiggins. We also did a very successful marketing mission to UK and Northern Ireland, and Paige Fox really came back with a great report, basically that we'll have several visitors coming in and a delegation, I think, coming in from Northern Ireland. So we're going to have a very busy spring coming out of our efforts in the UK in particular. Charles McDowell, who is our consultant there in London, is doing a really good job for us. I'll be talking with him Monday, I think, Paige. So really good things are coming out of our efforts in the wind energy sector in particular, cybersecurity sector in the UK. So we're going to be back over there in the springtime. I think we're going to set something up for January or February. It's going to be very cold up there. But I also wanted to say that we promoted Takora McIntyre Catlett to Executive Assistant for Mesa. Thank you, Takora, for agreeing to take that on. She also recently got married, by the way, so congratulations. One of the other things I wanted to note was our VBDA Christmas party, which is going to be Thursday, the 7th of December at the Westin, 6 to 8 p.m. So I'm hoping if you haven't RSVP, please do so. It's going to be a good event. And then finally, today we're on baby watch as well. Laura Chalk is scheduled to be induced today, I suppose, at 10 a.m. So we're now on baby watch, and she is more than ready, I can assure you of that. And so we're going to have pinch hitting going on for the next 12 weeks or so as when that baby does arrive, when her little girl shows up. So one of the things I would also note about Laura was the Data Science Institute's director had made note of the fact that it was 2 years ago that, working with Laura Chalk, that this whole idea came about and started developing. So I called her last evening and let her know that she was recognized at that event as well. So, but with that, if you have any other questions.
Any questions for Chuck? And Laura, if for some reason you're watching us right now, congratulations. Thank you for all of your hard work right up until the last possible minute.
She's still working. I think she's working today.
I hope not. I hope not. So no questions for Chuck. The only thing that I would mention is there is a team of us working on some updates to the EDIP policy, which we should hopefully have ready for you next meeting. And then I've had a request for us maybe to reconsider timing of our meetings, maybe have them not on the same day as city council, because I think that makes it difficult for some of our council folks to meet at both places. But that's something we'll look into as well. Any comments from commissioners for the good of the group? Any thoughts?
If I could just say something, I brought it up with Lisa. It's, at the time, we used to have the meetings on Thursdays at 2 o'clock, and they changed it to Tuesdays because of, people coming in. But some of our days, and Michael and Worth can attest this, they're really have gotten very, very long. Like next Tuesday, which would be our normal meeting day, is starting at 12:30. And we've got an unbelievable agenda, and we may be lucky to get out at midnight. And if you figure, then to add on to that, starting here at 8:30 in the morning, it's
a long day.
It's a really tough day for us. And there were a couple of meetings that I missed here because it was just so jam-packed to get it all in. So and I know everybody's got their schedules, and it's been really, really complicated, especially when you're counting on being here on Tuesday mornings at 8:30. But I thought if you wouldn't mind, it'd be worth to talk about, because it's, or if Michael wants to say it, Michael and I actually have not talked about this. But.
Right. Alternatively, and we haven't talked about this, I'll share with you, for me, I like meeting on Tuesdays because I know this may complicate things, Vice Mayor, but I like meeting on Tuesdays because I have, of course, another job. So Tuesdays has kind of been my dedicated public service council day, and I'm able to, make sure that I'm out of the office for Tuesdays. I can plan for that. I know that. But then coming in and meeting on a Thursday, or certainly there's certain days would potentially conflict with standing meetings and obligations that I have in my professional life as well. So I completely understand what you're saying, and I'm respectful of that, and I'm open, if that's something that's very important to you, Vice Mayor, to talk that out and find a time that hopefully can work for everyone. But I would just share that it's convenient for me to dedicate, to know that on Tuesdays is a council day for me, and I can plan for that.
Off the whole day. Yeah. Okay.
Madam Chair? It used to be not on the third Tuesday, which is always a council voting meeting. We met on, you guys don't vote on the second Tuesday, is that?
Right.
And which is an easier day.
It would make an easier day if you did something like that.
Second Tuesday, and then it was switched to the third because the former council member, or I think two, got appointed to state boards that conflicted. So that is not looking okay.
That could be
Keep it on a
a
Tuesday.
really good compromise.
That would be a great compromise.
Yeah, because if you saw our agenda for next Tuesday, you'd feel really sorry for us.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Penny, did
Do we
you?
know how long or how we got to Tuesday morning to start with?
That's what Alex was saying.
It's, as far as I know, it's always been Tuesday. It just hasn't always been the third Tuesday, which is always a vote for city council.
So the second Tuesday would still be a council meeting day, but not a voting.
It's a workshop day.
We wouldn't be there at night.
We're normally out by 6, not midnight.
Okay. But that's something we'll look into, because does it require a bylaw change, or?
I believe it would.
Yeah, so we'd
And
have
we
to.
need to check it. It may require direction from council.
Okay. We'll look into that, and definitely want to be cognizant of the time of our council liaisons, because you guys do so much for the city, so we'll.
Thank you for entertaining this. Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion to make it a workshop day.
That might make it a little bit easier. Okay.
Helps with people leaving on the holidays on the third week of
All right.
December.
Any other comments on, if, hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to recess into a closed session pursuant to the exemptions from open meetings allowed by Section 2.2-3711A Code of Virginia, as amended for the following purposes. Contracts, discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders or offers, and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A29, and that pertains to Districts 2 and 5. Legal matters, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A8, and that pertains to Districts 2 and 5 also. And then publicly held property, discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3, and that pertains to Districts 2, 4, and 5. Can I get a motion?
Move.
A motion from Mr. Brunke and a second.
Second.
Second from Dr. Brown, and a roll call vote.
William Brown,
Yes.
William Brunke,
Yes.
Taylor Franklin,
Yes.
Linda Garris Bright,
Yes.
Eric Keplinger,
Yes.
Penny Morgan,
Yes.
Lisa Murphy,
Yes.
Ronnie Parker,
Yes.
Mike Standing,
Yes.
David Williams.
Yes.
Cameras on.
So Laura was watching and she says thank you.
I will now certify our closed session. Certification of closed session. Whereas the Virginia Beach Development Authority of the City of Virginia Beach has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this Virginia Beach Development Authority that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Virginia Beach Development Authority of the City of Virginia Beach, Virginia hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed session to which this certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Virginia Beach Development Authority. I'll need a motion, a second, and then a roll call vote.
Motion.
Second. Got a motion from Mr. Franklin, a second from Ms. Morgan, and a roll call vote.
William Brown.
Yes.
William Brunke.
Yes.
Taylor Franklin.
Yes.
Linda Garrett Bright.
Yes.
Eric Keplinger.
Yes.
Kenny Morgan.
Yes.
Lisa Murphy.
Yes.
Ronnie Parker.
Yes.
Mike Standing.
Yes.
David Weenan.
Yes.
All right, now we are going to reconvene into open session. We've got one final item to vote on this morning. Do you want to just give us?
I'll let Alex,
Okay. Alex will give us an overview. This is a request for approval of a resolution amending the terms of a land transaction between the authority and YCH LLC.
Yes, ma'am. This relates to 2008 Udome Way. As you recall, we authorized in 2020 the sale of approximately 14 acres to YCH LLC, which is the proprietor of Why Not Pizza. We are proposing now a resolution that would allow the authority to reacquire the entire parcel for the original purchase price, which is approximately $128,000 an acre, equates to $1.8 million. We would grant YCH an option to reacquire, if that's a word, 3.75 acres for the $128,000. That option would be good for 1 year.
Per acre, sorry, 128,000 per acre.
Per acre, yes, yes. For that option would be good for 1 year. In order to exercise the option, YCH would have to have an approved site plan. They would then have to commence construction within 1 year of the reacquisition. So a 2-year period total is what we're considering.
So, well, that's not the same thing, though. So 1 year to option to purchase.
And then 1 more year to start construction.
But if they purchase in 1 year,
They got to start with another year.
so that could be, if they purchase at 6 months, right?
Yeah, the 1-year construction is from the time of purchase.
From the time of purchase, that is.
That purchase, so it.
It could be less. It's a maximum of 2 years. There you go.
Right.
There would be a reverter if they do not start construction within the option time.
Within the 1-year construction
Within the
period.
1 year. And the purpose and what we will approve is a headquarters building for YCH or an affiliate, along with the other, some of the building will be leased to third parties, but the anchor tenant is YCH. And if I missed anything, please pipe up.
I think that covers it. So we acquire the property by the end of this year. They have a year to purchase just enough to build a headquarters building for themselves with some additional space for other tenants. And then after the acquisition, if they don't commence construction within a year, then we acquire the property back again. We've got a reversionary.
For the same $128,000.
Right.
And no credit for infrastructure.
Correct, just straight 128.
Which is a discounted purchase price now, yeah.
Based on our newest.
Current assessment, yeah.
Or appraisal, rather, $200,000 per acre.
Perhaps in order to avoid another request, we specifically say the maximum amount we will pay is $128 an acre if we have to exercise that reverter. Any of his costs
I think
from this
that's-
point forward are his costs.
Agreed, so and the reversionary purchase price would be still $128,000 an acre. All right, with all of that, I will entertain a motion. Everybody clear on where we are?
And we have a resolution, but it needs to be tweaked, so I'll circulate it, and then it'll be reflected in the minutes next month if there's any inconsistencies. We can clear it up at that next time.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr. Franklin, second from Indira Bright. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all for sticking it out this morning. Have a wonderful weekend and a happy Thanksgiving.